During a September 2020 congressional hearing, Comey denied leaking information to the press, but the prosecutors believe they can prove he was lying. In 2018, Comey ironically posted that, quote, small lies matter. And if a witness lies, well, they shouldn't be trusted. Joining us now is Congressman Pat Fallon, member of the House Oversight and Intel Committees. Congressman, thank you for joining us. I know that you've been a part of this investigation. You know, the big thing we're looking at is, are there other documents? Is there other information that you're privy to that can be turned over to the DOJ and maybe strengthen this case or make it more relevant?
You know, all along I thought that Comey was dirty, and I did think he lied under oath. And now we finally have charges. I think as there's discovery, you know, when defense gets their discovery, we'll find out just what the prosecution's case comprises of. I do think it's going to be, I always thought he did it. It was a question of, can they prove it beyond a reasonable doubt? I think they might be able to. It's going to be fascinating to see this trial unfold.
Congressman Jason Chaffetz here. I want to transition a little bit to what the Oversight Committee is doing in terms of the autopen. I was highly critical of what the executive branch is not doing on the autopen investigation, but what James Comey, the Oversight Committee, is doing in bringing people in under oath, asking questions. What have you learned so far, and where does this go next? Because I think there's still a long, long ways to go to get to the bottom of how this all went down.
Well, Chairman, you know what? One of the most important things about this investigation is to get people under oath and testifying before Congress. Some of them took the fifth. Some of them were not as forthcoming as we'd like to be. But even someone like Ian Sams, it was saying he was repeatedly in the news defending Biden, saying he was at the top of his game and he was so sharp. And then we find out under oath that he had only met with Joe Biden twice in 4 years. So you can see that they were spinning, they were either spinning so hard or they were in orbit around Neptune, because they weren't telling the American people the truth. And now this is not only, maybe there'll be a criminal case, but certainly this will be tried in the court of public opinion. And we'll find out that the Biden administration was full of spin, falsehoods, and lies.
Full of a lot of things. Congressman Tomi Lahren here. So I want to turn to the attacks against ICE. This week's shooting is the most recent in a string of attacks in Texas, where officials have received the brunt of anti-ICE assaults. But the left's response has been to finger point while refusing to tone down their own rhetoric.
I'm pretty tired of conservatives gaslighting about the current political environment and Donald Trump's rhetoric when all of this escalation can be traced back to his entrance into American politics.
Because he is the one who is fanning the flames of violence in this country. It's just absolutely reprehensible behavior.
Criticizing the way that ICE is rounding up people in this country in a deeply inhumane and immoral way is not an incitement to violence.
Congressman Fallon, they just won't stop. And I think many of us are wondering, what will it take? We've already seen violence. We've seen somebody lose their life this week over what I believe is inspired by a lot of this rhetoric. And I think for the folks at home, they kind of wonder, when you're a member of Congress and you're a Republican, but you got Democrat friends and colleagues. And I think what I guess, want to know is, behind closed doors, when you're talking with these people, do they really believe our ICE agents are Nazis and fascists and secret police? Do you ever have a conversation with them where you just say, hey, people are in danger here, cut it out?
No, absolutely, I have. And here's the truth. You know, to be very candid and frank, most Democrats in Congress don't believe that, and they don't say those things. But there are some, and it's a sizable number now. 80, 90 Democrats are saying awful things. I mean, Crockett in Dallas, I'm on the Oversight Committee, Jason was the chair, and she came in, and right after Charlie Kirk was killed, the first thing she said was, Republicans are defending rapists and pedophiles. That's not toning down your rhetoric. And you know, the new definition if just because you went all 7 battleground states doesn't make you a fascist. And I think what the woke dictionary now says is fascist, the definition is anyone who has the audacity to disagree with my leftist brilliance.
That's right.
That's what it amounts to.
New definition there. Congressman, it's Anita Vogel. Thank you for joining us. I want to ask you about the perceived uncertainty regarding the motive of the Dallas shooter. Analysts and on other networks, I've seen them on their roundtables say they can't determine what the motive was, despite the fact that there was anti-ICE slogans on the shell casings, and I think other notes saying that this person wanted to cause terror at that ICE facility. Is the motive uncertain to you?
Not at all. In fact, there was he just reports recently, as early as today, saying that he was trying to kill ICE agents. And when you write, anti-ICE slogans on your bullets, that's a dead giveaway. I mean, it doesn't take. We don't need to call London and Sherlock Holmes and ask. It's the left trying to deflect and not understanding that their rhetoric is really causing a lot of these loose cannons to commit violent acts. And when MSNBC says the words fascist or fascism 1,614 times just in the first 10 months of 2022, you can kind of see where this is bearing fruit.
Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, y'all. God bless.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.